Okay, I'm trying this again. Um, okay, I'm back. Give me a moment. I'm going to just send out the invites. As soon as I see like people, if you're here, do me a favor, just make some comments so I can see that you're here, because I really can't see anything until people comment. Just waiting for people to come in so I can get started. Girl, I'm live. Ugh, what is going on with people? Yo, I done got kicked. Oh, here I am. I'm back now. It kicked me out the studio. Um. Okay. So here. So apparently the people can't see. Hold on, y'all. Because apparently Meech can't get in. And I've been live for 5 minutes and nothing's working. I've been on for 7 minutes. Oh, my head is big. Hold on, y'all. Oh, my Lanta.
Why you look?
Goodness gracious.
You can hear me?
Y'all can't find the links or nothing.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Uh, you don't know how to work the internet. I told you to send the right
I know
link.
how to work it. No, it's not. So what happened was I sent it through Messenger, but for some reason they kept saying they couldn't send no more.
Okay, 'cause the one you sent me last time was easy. I just click on the top link, not the bottom link.
Yeah, it was the same link I sent. I don't know what happened.
Uh,
Where are these people? So the people don't know how to work the link. I sent everybody. I said go to my YouTube. I sent the YouTube link,
but can
and
they join from your YouTube though?
they're not joining. They're just watching.
Oh, who's watching?
People, the people that told me they wanted to hear my response and my thoughts on this, and then they ain't here. Like we've been waiting for your response. I've been at work all day. I had a chance to do nothing. I finally sitting down. Like I heard about it, but I just wanted to sit down and process everything. And I have my thoughts. And
This is
you're gonna,
about your
you're
girl
gonna,
Portia.
yeah, and you're gonna say I'm biased, but you can kiss my ass.
I know you're biased. You always are. It's nothing
I
new.
am,
It's nothing
but
new.
I'm my thing is I'm being biased, but honest at the same time.
But you should be. It's not about being honest. It's about being logical. Because you can be honest and still be like, I cheated. That's honest, but you still cheated. So it's just like your bias
But
often is uh is not aligned with facts or reality all the time.
But I mean,
I
but
hope
thinking
you said
of,
that in a nice.
but when you hear, when you hear what I have to say, I
Go
hope,
ahead.
I
Let's.
hope that you hear it with the open mind
I have an open mind. You, the
and
biased
understand
one,
where
is
I'm
the
coming from.
issue.
Okay,
Okay, so let's just do a brief recap of what's in the headlines, and then go into your.
so Portia announced her new relationship. So
Hmm.
we have seen the picture of her, Dennis, and Simon together, and her and Simon were cozy up together, and Dennis was in the picture.
Okay.
And we saw, da da da. So we saw that, but we didn't know what was going on.
Hmm.
Gary asked her about it on This Nation. She said, "You will find out about you'll hear what I have to say about it later." So Portia ended up making the post about her and Simon being in a relationship and saying that the relationship started a month ago.
Hmm.
So that's where that came from. Now, here's here's the thing. Love, I love love, and I say
Mm.
wherever you find love, you find it. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And she found love. Now, here's the thing. Here's where everybody's upset about. Everyone's upset because they think that Portia is with her friend's ex, but she's not with her friend's ex.
Is that all they're upset about? Huh?
What do you mean?
I'm saying, is that the only
I
headline
mean,
that you've seen from
from what
people?
I'm hearing, that it's mostly her friend. It's for the most part, it's she's with her friend's ex,
Okay.
and that's betrayal of girl code.
Okay. Okay.
because Fallon was supposed to, because Fallon was her friend, according to what everybody thinks.
Her friend on reality TV?
I'm about to break it down for you. They
Oh,
think
okay.
it was
I'm
her
ready.
friend, but
Okay.
now, and so everybody thinks she's trash and thinks she's foul because of the situation. Now, here's what everybody needs to understand. Just how you said it with her friend on reality TV. Yes, it was her friend on reality TV.
You don't need quotes. She was her friend on reality
Her
TV.
friend.
Reality
Because
TV, you don't need quotes.
because we're using the word friend loosely, and I'm gonna tell you why I put friend in quotes. So if you go back, so going back to the show when Fallon was first introduced, she was introduced as Portia's friend.
Hmm.
That is correct. That is what the reading said. However, if you go back and watch Candy speak on it with Fallon, Candy actually addressed this and said, "So when we met you because you were Portia's friend." She said, "Actually, I was actually on the show because of Dennis. Dennis and Simon have a friendship. So because Dennis and Simon have a friendship, me and Portia were cool. That's how me and Portia met because our men were friends. So we were cool. Now, cool does not equal a friendship. You can be cool with somebody and
Yeah,
not be friends.
that is true. Also, I wouldn't. I don't know if I can ride with the words. I was on the show because of Dennis.
But that's what she said.
She was on the show because Dennis' wife or baby mama or girlfriend was a housewife. So
Exactly.
she's
So the
Dennis is
thing is
not why
that
she's on the
Dennis,
show. Portia's why she's
exactly.
on the show.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying how what Fallon said.
Yes.
So the thing is, of course, Dennis is not a full time cast member. Obviously,
Right.
he's not really a cast member. So it wasn't like we could introduce Fallon through Dennis. They needed
Mhm.
somebody to introduce Fallon through, and of course, Portia's a full time housewife. So
Right.
boom, Portia and Dennis have their little whatever, their baby mama, baby daddy situation, their co-parenting situation. We'll say that. And so it was like, hey, producers are interested in Fallon. So because because me and Simon are friends, I know you and Fallon are cool because of that. Go ahead and you're going to introduce Fallon to the show, and that's what happened. So Portia and Fallon weren't friends. Portia was used basically to bring Fallon to the show. The same way that, well, it's not the same.
I think majority people understand that concept.
They don't, because when
I
they see
think
when they see the word friend, they automatically think they're friends. Just like Drew and Cynthia are actually friends because Drew came to the YSL opening last year and been invited by Cynthia. So Cynthia brought her to the show as her friend this year for full time because they're actually friends. You know what I'm saying? Tanya was brought to the show by Nene as Nene's friend, only because they were interested in Tanya, but also Tanya shopped at. They knew Tanya was a customer that frequent Nene's boutique, so it was
mhm.
like, okay, she frequents your boutique, so you're gonna bring her on the show as your friend. But then end up becoming Eva's friend, but then end up becoming Portia's friend. So that's how Tanya was brought on the show. Just like Marlo. Marlo was brought to the show by Phaedra as a way to come at Nene, but her and Nene ended up becoming friends. So she went from being Phaedra's friend to being Nene's friend
On the show.
on the show. But well, her friend in real life because they hang out.
I guess if that's what you say.
Well, I mean, they ain't got their little sisterhood right now because of whatever's going on between them two. I don't know. Marlo said something not to be going. I don't know. But but all I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that cool does not equal a friendship. So they weren't friends. So there should be no issue with who she's dating. The guys were friends. So if Dennis is okay with the relationship, there should be no issue anyway. Nobody should have anything to say about anything. Just like, just we're gonna take it back, not to really speak on it, but to speak on it. We're gonna take it back to the whole prophet situation, right? Where everybody was dragging Drew about the prophet situation, saying that, well, how do you know the prophet, being a man, wasn't actually praying on Latoya? So they defended Latoya in that situation. If there was a situation with the prophet, saying that the prophet could have been one to approach her, but everybody's dragging Porsha, thinking that Porsha and went and did whatever with this man. So it's like, you can't defend your friend on this end, but then because you don't like this person over here, all of a sudden it's a different situation over here. If you're gonna be fair, then be fair. If she was having a situation with the prophet, then she was having a situation with the prophet. She could just like she could just
You talking about Porsha?
no. Latoya had the situation with the
Oh,
prophet
that's the one she's with
allegedly.
now?
No, she with the man that may or may not have been gay at one point in his life.
Okay, I didn't know
Yeah,
it was the same person.
no. So Latoya, but you know what I'm saying? Like, if Latoya, if you're saying that it's not possible for Latoya to seduce the prophet, then you can say that it's not possible for Portia to
But are
seduce
these
Simon.
but who are you referring to? Are you talking about the same people that said that about Latoya are now going against Portia?
No, no, no. The same people that defended Latoya
That's what
are
I'm saying.
the same people that defended Latoya are going against Portia. So like your girl Kenya.
Okay.
But then we also have to remember, because and you probably already seen, I posted the receipts for that too. You're
I don't
talking
really
about,
know if those receipts was receipts, but
yeah, no, that was receipts. So you
are you
can't,
talking about Claudia?
yes,
Them
you
ain't
can't.
receipts.
Yes, it was. I'm
No,
gonna tell you. If
them
you,
is not receipts.
I'm gonna,
They
if you
might
can,
be involved. They might be attached to receipts, but that video is
mhm.
not a receipt.
If you let me finish my point, I'll tell you how it's a receipt. So, Kenya saying that Portia is a snake and a liar because of her being, her situation with Simon. Yet when,
Wasn't she saying that before Simon? So
but
she just being consistent with saying Portia's a sneak and a liar.
but what I'm saying, is about last. What I'm saying,
That bias is
can
coming out
you keep cutting me off and not let me finish my point?
because you be being biased.
Because it was
Okay.
but what I'm saying is that what she posted last night was in response to Portia's announcement.
Mm-hmm.
So it's completely
Agreed.
separate from that. What I'm saying is that's what she posted last night in response to Portia's announcement. So you can't really relate. You can't really dog somebody out because because of this situation. Because when Portia and Claudia were also co-workers, you tried to set Claudia up with her ex-husband. And you supported that. You supported that. You kept trying to call Claudia the future Mrs. Stewart. So you see,
Okay. You
that's
got
how.
to make the connection for me to what's happening now to
So
what
that's how.
Kenya was trying to do. Are you
That's
trying to say that Kenya was trying to make Claudia the same thing that she's now calling Portia out for being? Like she was supporting Claudia's being with somebody's ex-husband, but she's not supporting Portia being with
exactly,
somebody's ex-husband. Okay, because
exactly.
you was lost me for a quick
That's
second.
why I said that's a receipt, because at the end of the day, Portia and Fallon weren't friends. They were co-workers.
Okay.
Portia and Claudia weren't friends. They were co-workers.
So help
Simon is
me
Fallon's ex. Cordell was Portia's ex.
understand.
There
So
was
when
no
you
difference.
say a receipt, you're talking about a receipt to prove that Kenya is a hypocrite, not
Exactly.
a receipt. Okay. Okay. So you got to just break stuff down because it don't be all
You were
together.
cutting me off. That's what I was trying to explain. I have to explain everything that
Because you probably what you get
that
to.
I when you keep saying I don't speak with logic, and I'm logically explaining everything to you. You have to understand, as a Capricorn, like I when I say
You
stuff,
don't. These are basic concepts.
I say it down, and I break it all down when I'm done explaining my point.
Ugh, you're gonna have to give me the summary.
I have to break it down, break it down.
Now listen, there was a lot of bias in that, but it was a lot of good points. I do agree that, Kenya, but I guess that's like I said on your last what's this called?
Well,
What's
this is just me. This is just me. Oh, well, it's still keeping it real.
Keeping it real. Okay. On your last Keeping it real, I said you have to judge people by who they are. Kenya is always, not always been, but is very anti Portia. So everything she posted last night is still representative of that theory that Portia's a liar and a cheating connive. That's consistent. I think the difference is that Kenya has no role in this current situation. In the other situation with Claudia, she was trying to push that on, especially put it on TV to make Portia look stupid or make her look bad, which it really didn't make her look bad, but it made Kenya look conniving. I think also with the situation, it is very consistent of Portia to um, jump into situations with newly single men, um, be married, engaged, and all of that within a blink of an eye. I think that's very consistent of her. I think people dragging her for being with with that girl's ex, because are they divorced or did he just file?
He
Because
filed in
he
January.
filed in January.
I think she's trying to contest. She's trying to contest it, but the
So
the
let's
understanding was that it was finalized.
so she's contesting, then the marriage hasn't been finalized because that means they both haven't just signed the divorce decree and the judge hasn't signed off. So let's he is a married man. He is also a single man. I don't have a problem with married people, men or women dating. I think that if you have came to a conclusion that a relationship has commenced and ran its course, you are free to move on. I think what Portia lacks is understanding optics in business. You just ended a season. You just did a finale when a lot of the banter around your name was about you sleeping with a stripper. A month through the reunion was what, last week? So this week you tell us that you're not only in a new relationship with somebody that was on the show's ex-husband, even though she's on it for one season, you're also engaged and y'all just started dating a month ago. So I think it's more of a character assassination that they're doing on Portia because of her consistency with how she deals with men. Not really a character assassination on how she deals with sisterhood and friendships. I think that's the difference because her and Fallon, in both of their words, weren't friends. But the character that Portia played on TV was a friend to this girl. So this is a mix up of life becoming reality. On TV, you played a character as being this girl's friend. In reality, y'all was not friends, y'all men's was friends. And now your new man is still going to be your ex-man's business partner. They're probably still going to make money, still going to have ventures. So it looks messy. And Portia is consistent in looking messy, even when her heart may be in the right place. Like you said, I don't think there's nothing wrong with people finding love. I don't think there's anything wrong with married people who are officially separated, file for divorce, dating. I think Portia's issue is that she's always caught up in the mess of the situation. Now, do I think it's wrong for her to date Simon? No, I don't think it's wrong because for one, he's a single man, she's a single woman. Fallon and him are getting a divorce. At the same time, you are engaged to a man that is married, and within the last year, you were bringing his now or future ex-wife onto the show, and you were in her house, sitting at her dining room table, bringing other people to that woman's house. So it gives the impression that a part of your bringing her onto the show was that it brought you into her home. Now that home will eventually, in the probably next couple of months, become your home. So it just she's always putting her in the position. She always putting herself in a position to look messy. Even though I've met her, I think she's a sweet, nice girl. But from how you got with Cordell, when he was fresh out of a relationship, and then boom, y'all got engaged, married for 2 years, boom, then y'all broke up. And then the other men that you bought on the show. And then you got with Dennis, baby, engagement, breakup, all in the same year. And now, one season away from last season, saw her going through couples therapy and all that. Now, in your rebound season, when you're a single woman, we dealing with you sleeping with a stripper, which you claim that you didn't. Other girls say that you did. That's nor here nor there. And now, as we go into the next season, your storyline is going to be she wasn't never my friend. I just found love, and it just happened to be I met him through her. So it's just a consistency of messiness. Do I think people are reaching and using her name for click bites and retweets and stories? Yes, absolutely. It's no thought in my mind that they're not using her for clout. But the issue is that Porsha provides this content consistently. Porsha is the driving factor in her being relevant to this show. Do I think it's good for her brand? Yes. If that's who she naturally is, then that's okay. It's also fair to say that she's a very messy girl. It's also very okay to say that she is looser in not sexually, but looser in, what she calls a friend, who she defends, what she doesn't defend. Because I clearly remember her not being cool with Kenya and Apollo. It's just weird to see her dating a married man and already engaged to a married man. That's the weirdest part. But is she wrong for living her life and living her truth? No. So two of those things can both be true. She can be messy and whatever she wants to be, but she can also be a girl that found love in a bad situation, because life is not rainbows and peaches. Like, life is not you find an available man who's been waiting all his life for you. Life is going out there and seeing what's happening. So I think it's fair criticism to make this show. I think it's fair criticism because she's very consistent with providing us reasons to come at her. At the same time, if I was her, it wouldn't be something I'm following. I wouldn't be tracking. I wouldn't be retweeting. I wouldn't be commenting, because I know that I'm good. I know that I found somebody. It wasn't messy. I wasn't sleeping while he was with Fallon. I wasn't talking to him on the side while they was. I knew in my conscience that I'm okay. So I wouldn't even be defending it, but I definitely think it's accurate criticism.
Something I just been thinking about though, like just after like last night, like sleeping on it and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I I wonder if Dennis set them up.
So I think that's a good
Because what I'm saying,
observation.
like sitting them, what I'm saying, like with her and Dennis, like already sitting down agreeing, like we're not gonna be together. At the end of the day, I feel like you know what I'm saying, like Portia feels like Dennis wants to just be single. He's
He
happy.
does.
He's happy being a. He's saying he's happy co-parenting and stuff like that. But she, what I'm saying, like I feel like after they had their conversation, she knows that Dennis just wants to be single. He doesn't want to be
He
tied.
doesn't want the family that she gave him.
Right. And I think Dennis also realized that, and with seeing his friend going through whatever he's going through, because at the end of the day, quite as kept, we know, like what we know is that there were allegations that Fallon was out there dipping in and doing it, and that's what led to the divorce.
That is fair criticism. I know people in Atlanta have said that before this season,
Mm-hmm.
um, when I didn't even know who she was. I just remember that being a conversation that was held in front of me. So I do think that's very accurate. I think it's very strange if Dennis saw what his friend was going through with his current wife at the time and her infidelity. I think it's very strange for him to invite 50% of that into his own family. I'm okay. I'll help you find a girl, but it's not going to be the girl that I made a mother. It's not going to be the girl that I put a ring on. It's not going to be the girl that I called her mother, mother-in-law. Now you're going to call her mother, mother-in-law. I think that's a very strange concept. I also have to rationalize with the fact that these are men of a different culture and have a different understanding of, not really putting ownership on relationships. So
I'm Nigerian,
it's
so
very well possible that Simon saw Portia as just another woman
mhm.
that was single and available. I think for Dennis to be I don't know what he thinks privately, but for
He
Dennis
publicly supports it though.
to be so publicly supportive within 1 month of them relationship starting, getting engaged, blah, 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 it tells me that the relationship might be 1 month, but the actual courting of the relationship hasn't been 1 month because that is a lot for a man with who made somebody a mother who was recently engaged to her for him to transition that quick
Mhm.
and publicly. That's a lot. I know men and women process things different, but for him to co-sign her post and to that man at one point has probably met their child. So now that he went from daddy's friend to actually being her stepdad, that is a lot to process in 30, 31 days. So that tells me that when Portia said the relationship started, she went out of her way to say the relationship started in the last 30 days. But that doesn't mean that they haven't been courting, talking, dating, getting to know each other in prior months. It just means that a month ago they made it official. I
Mhm.
think it's very strange. That's why I'm saying sometimes you can tell when people put things out because they want to make a statement. Her statement and his statement is going to be another reason why people be like, "Huh?" But at the same time, I think it's normal for co-parents to support each other in business and life and new relationships because it shows you have let go and you're not attached.
Right.
This situation tells me that this has been in the making, hopefully since he filed, and hopefully not before. But even if so, he was still separated. So that wouldn't even be a thing because as long as you're separate, I don't care if you didn't go to the judge. If me and you have decided that we're separated, we're separated.
Exactly.
So legally that's not my issues. But I think that like I said before, the criticism is fair. I also think her making her statements on her own platform is fair. And I also think that her taking charge of what she wants for her life is fair. Now, the child is young. The child is not going to know any. The child knows her dad and her mom. Her new stepdad will come in and blah, blah, blah. But I think at the end of the day, this will only help Portia as far as a reality TV show person. But I think it's going to add fuel to the character assassinations of Kenya, Marlo, even Candy if it comes to it. This is only going to continue to fuel that because you went inside the cast to not went inside the cast to find your man, but you found your man within the Real Housewives of Atlanta platform, regardless if it was intentional,
Well,
regardless if it was
same
intentional
thing
or
though.
not. So when you are feeding, for me, if it was, I don't know any other relationship, any
Well,
other reality stars,
it,
it
I, it
screams to
was,
me
I think
publicity
it would have been
stunt.
shady if it was Shamia.
If she was dating Shamia's
You know what I'm saying? Like Shamia's
ex-husband,
husband divorced. Like Shamia's husband divorced her,
it
and
would be a
that
whole
that
other it would be a
that's
whole
different.
other situation.
Exactly.
And even in that, she still has an African man, so he would still probably be okay with that.
Right.
But that's nor here
But
nor
you
there.
know, but I don't think, but to be honest, like I don't think Portia or Shamia would like do anything like that because these are childhood best friends. Like,
Yeah, I also know that we have to remember that women, when it comes to men, women do a lot of changing and
yes.
a lot of manipulating their thoughts and their processes to accommodate a man.
Hmm.
The best of friends with females, when a man is involved, it is totally different. And we need to have some type of empathy for Portia because that could have been a decision she had to make because I feel this strongly about somebody, but what am I losing by being with him? What am I gaining? So I think we have to be empathetic to her before we judge her, before we say anything negative. Let's think about, okay, she could possibly miss out on the love of her life because she's worried about how it looks.
Hmm.
So I am a little bit empathetic to her, but I think at the same time, how she responds from this moving forward will tell me what I need to know about Portia. Because if she's honest and true, there's nothing to defend. Your character is your character, and your actions will show. Our perception as fans or people in the land or whatever is going to be that regardless of if she met somebody that lived in France and he never knew anybody on the show. So it's all about how she moves forward now. Because right now, it seems to me huge publicity stunt. I'm sure Andy's phone is pushing up production. I'm sure, you know what I mean? They're not going to film at the end of July. They're going to probably do after Memorial Day. But I think how she handles this situation will be able to change people's minds. Because if she's in comments, responding to people, arguing, and and that's what the storyline of next season is, it's going to be hard to say this is true and this is fact. Next season, I would not bring him on the show. Next season, they're probably going to force Fallon on back on the show as a friend of.
Nope, that's not what we're gonna do.
It's going to be. I just hope she doesn't go into this gimmicky storyline debating stuff. I hope that she just moves forward with the season. Like, just
So
keep going.
I'm jumping to tomorrow, but I'm going to go ahead and just say this. So this is what I think is going to happen. Now that this has happened, Kenya's probably already on the phone with production now, pushing that they bring Fallon on the show.
I
They're,
don't even think it needs a push.
they're probably going to kick Cynthia off, and we'll talk tomorrow. When we talk tomorrow, I'll tell you why.
It's a rough call right there. That's a rough call.
I'm back, huh? You can't hear me now. You can't hear me.
I can hear you now. Yeah, go
Oh,
ahead. For a
so
second, I was like, "What did you say?" I heard your mouth.
I think Phaedra's coming back.
um,
I think this is going to be the divide. It's going to be
it's a
Team
lot.
Portland and Team Kenya. It's going to and on Team Kenya, you're going to have Fallon. No,
On whose team?
it's going to be Kenya and Fallon. Candy going to be somewhere in the middle because she can go either way depending on how she feels if she comes back. But Portia's going to have Drew and Phaedra and Shamia. Oh yeah, Kenya, Fallon, and Marlo with Candy in the middle because we don't know which way Candy's going to go with this. Then you'll have Portia, Phaedra, Shamia, and Drew.
Um,
And Latoya may be in the middle somewhere too.
I think it sounds like a weak cast. Let me just say that I don't see five. I didn't hear five main peach holders. I heard a couple of friends to the shows, but
No,
I see their
well,
avenue.
I think what was said was that Drew worked in her contract that she gets 2 years.
And she's a friend to the show at this point.
She's gonna no, she gets 2 full-time years, so she's gonna be full-time next season.
Right, but I think you can be full time and still be a friend to the show.
She's gonna hold a peach.
I think
as a house.
When you put her as a peach holder, you got to remember that's dedicated time
Yeah,
and dedicated role and dedicated storyline that she has to produce. If from what I saw from her and her husband at that reunion, I don't know if that's the best thing for her or the show.
I mean, you saw, but again, we'll talk tomorrow.
But anyway, so like I said,
But
I think that's a
so
weak cast. When you mention Phaedra, I don't know if you want to talk about this tomorrow. When you mention Phaedra, you're talking about a seasoned peach holder that
mm,
you're bringing back on the show. That is not a light thing to shake up on a cast like this.
well, remember season 8, they brought back Sheree.
Yeah, but Sheree, Phaedra, Sheree, like it's two different levels of drama.
Well, I mean, I'm saying like they brought back an OG.
Yeah, that I think you can. A
Yeah,
legend, Sheree, Phaedra, drama, Phaedra, Sheree. Unless you involving Nene. Like it's different. Like you see how Sheree works with Nene and Kim
mm-hmm.
and the OGs versus how she works with Candy, Portia, and all of them. It's a different.
And I mean, it's possible that Kim may even come back.
But I do think that they need to decide the direction of the show. Because but that's what I was gonna mention before I forget Cynthia. If you take Cynthia off the show, you have to feel that you have to feel that role or you have to take up that with somebody else.
That's why Fallon's there.
But is Fallon strong enough to hold that part already? Because her focus should be on her focus on the show should be on the Portia Simon dynamic. Can she feel up being a B cast member as a
But
supporter friend
remember,
to an A
yeah,
cast member?
they haven't resolved the beef between her and Latoya either. So
And
that's
I just don't see in the one of them see the thing one of them has to go. You can't
I
have
after the reunion though, Latoya may get brought back.
you can't the if you bring in if this is if Simon is involved in the season next year,
Mm-hmm.
or the Simon just as a theory, not as the real person, but if he's involved in name next year, you can't have Drew, Fallon, and Latoya. They're not enough where they're needed to be on the show because you have a main storyline already there. Fallon, Latoya, and
Well, I think
Drew
by
are all extras.
promoting Latoya now, it's gonna get. I think if they promote Latoya,
What
think
is her worth to the show in your opinion? Like what is her
be on like to be honest, like I'm gonna be straight up. I did not like, for the most part, I did not like Latoya this season. But
that doesn't mean that
but what I'm saying is she brought more than what some of the other peach holders that were there brought to the show. She brought more of the, you know what I'm saying, like the drama that people watch the show for. She brought it, whether we like
think
her or not.
I
She
think she's definitely a bone collector. I think she definitely says things to spark conversation at tables. I think she definitely is one of those people that likes to address things and will be like, "Hey, remember you said that about whatchamacallit? Here they go." Like, I think she has that role. But
and
what is it
if Sheree can
about?
get a peach for, I mean, this is what I'm saying. If Sheree can get a peach just to do that, why couldn't Latoya get a peach just to do that?
Because Sheree's an OG. I don't know if you bring OGs back as a friend to the show
Yeah,
unless they have their
and
own main
season eight,
story.
season 8. She was just a friend.
But she is a peach. Like when you think of Sheree, you think of Bob, you think of the children, you think of the abuse, you think of her peeling the Kim's wig, you think of her fighting with Nene when they were sitting at the thing talking about each other's teeth and checks from Donald Trump. She comes with legendary stature, even if she's a friend to the show. So for me, I'm always going to consider her a peach holder because that is what she is. Even if she portrays something different on TV. I'm sorry, I probably didn't explain that well.
I got you.
I think with Latoya, you have to like Latoya, Drew, Fallon have to decide, are you the production has to decide, are they invested in those women in their particular stories? or are they invested in having them back up other main storylines? Like, can you push Fallon into Kenya's category and be her number 2 as she battles Porsha, or can you push Drew to, be uh, more effective with her husband and have more dialogue between their actual like they have to decide, because as us watching the show, Candy is the lead, Porsha is the lead, Kenya is the lead. They have main storylines. And even Candy is really becoming a friend to the show, not in more of a
Stop. We'll
not
talk about
as a
tomorrow.
I not because her life is just outside of the show. Like, you know what I mean? The show is only good in for Candy now as a platform to show bedroom Candy, to show Ace having his auditions, to show they're both of their daughters in college. Like, her ties to the show is by name. She is beyond the show. But she's definitely, somebody has to feel that role of, you know what I mean, having that type of stable presence on the show. Because Kenya can't give it to us. And Porsha is for me, a great B plus. But people like Nene, Kenya, Candy a couple seasons ago, those are A plus main storylines. And I think because Portia is the youngest of them all, I think this is where you see her reality show fame just go through the roof, because now she has baggage. She has the husband. She has a child. She has the sister. She has the mama. She has the money. Now she can go into full reality TV show HBIC, because up until now, she's just been a great side conversation. But now she has the opportunity to lead this franchise.
Ain't been a side convo.
I when I think of Porsha, I say side combo because the season is wrapped around her because of the drama that's attached to her. But when I think of HBIC, I think Nene, I think Kim, I think Kim, like the legends. Portia's not that. Porsha is a great fun girl. But when I
So
start
you
thinking of her as a boss bitch, that's when she's the HBIC. She's not
think
there yet.
legend?
Who?
You think King is a legend?
Kenya is a reality TV show legend.
Because remember, they came on. They came on the same season.
Is she I'm talking about the character of Kenya. She is a reality TV show legend. Is Kenya, whatchamacallit's ex-wife, a reality star legend like that? No. That's not what I'm saying. But the character that Kenya provides to this show is necessary and needed, and the show would not exist without her. I can find another Portia. I can find another Latoya. I can find another Drew. You can't find another Nene, another Kim, another Kenya. Like, it's a different breed of female. But I think, like I said, Porsha, this is where you're going to see Porsha go. Like, every other scene is going to
Well,
be
I mean,
Porsha.
she's been carrying since season 9, so
I don't think she's been carrying the show. I think her drama has been carrying the show. I'm saying Porsha herself as a female, as a head bitch in charge, is about to carry the show just on herself alone. What she's been doing so far is the drama from the dungeon, the therapy sessions with her man, the fights with Kenya, blah, blah, blah. The drama with Portia's been carrying the show. Now she's about to actually carry the show. Bravo has to invest in Porsha. This is the best viable resource that they have on that roster is Porsha. It's the best that they got, and it's a great investment. If you put Kenya in there, put some girls in there, get Shamia in there to be her backup.
Well, here's the thing, Shamia. So because of Shamia's husband doesn't want her to be a full-time housewife. That's why Shamia's only.
But she shouldn't be. She should be Portia's friend. She shouldn't be a full-time housewife. We don't want her. We don't want her as that.
That's what I'm saying. So she needs at least 1 or 2 full-time housewives to be on her side. That's why.
Oh, you mean full-time peach holders?
Yeah, that's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, well, Drew's coming back, so that's why I said Drew, and that's why I said Phaedra, because they're gonna automatically they're gonna be Team Portia.
Who?
Drew, we know Drew and Portia are friends.
No, I'm talking about who did you say is gonna be Team Portia?
I said that's gonna be, as far as peach holders, right? It's Portia, Drew, and Phaedra. That's what I
You
have.
think Phaedra's gonna be Team Portia because she's anti-Team Kenya, or she's gonna actually be Portia because she actually likes Portia?
Because she actually likes Portia.
I think that's a hard sell, but I think before we get to that point, when you bring Phaedra back to the show, you have to address Portia letting it be known that Phaedra was the one who's talked about Kenya having the dungeon. And I think what the issue is going to be there is they are not going to be able to move past that to where Phaedra would end up Team Portia. I think she'll be anti-Kenya, but that gap of understanding, okay, she told you this about Portia, but then that's what I'm saying. It's gonna open up a whole other flood of problems for them, because soon as Portia Phaedra be like, so why did you say that why did you tell that? That was against girl code. And then that's gonna bring up Candy being like, well, me and you had already kissed and touched each other and stuff before you even, so you knew that stuff wasn't true, because I never tried to sleep with you when we was kissing on off season. So
They don't speak on it.
it's gonna be a whole. I wouldn't even do that. I would. That's a risk to the. It's a risk. Would you do it?
Do what?
Would you have that if you was Portia? Would you have the conversation with Phaedra about the dungeon in the
Well,
con?
they've already had it though. So you want
But
them
you
to?
gotta have it on the show.
I think as a one-on-one conversation, yes.
I think
I think that'll be the way to reintroduce Phaedra back into the show. So
by speaking on the dungeon
no, when I'm not just speaking on, I'm saying a one-on-one between Phaedra and Portia would
off
be
camera.
no on camera. They already talked. I'm saying they're already cool again. They've already talked off camera. What I'm saying is on camera, that Portia would be the one to bring Phaedra back to the show.
Because she does need a cosign to get back on the show.
Exactly. So it would be Portia. So basically, it'd be like,
It's
Portia's having a little girls' day or whatever with Drew and Shamia, and she tells them like, "Hey, I have a special guest coming over. I want you guys to meet my friend." Well, Shamia already knows her, but I want you guys to be
I
cool.
think it's gonna be that would be an awkward transition.
It'd be her way of, Shamia, I know we already talked about this, but you're open to moving forward. And then boom, Phaedra knocks on the door. They sit down, they have the conversation.
Mm. I mean, I think it can work. I
Because
think that
it'll kill two birds with one stone as well. So it'll be Portia getting Shamia and Phaedra to be cool again, and it'll be Portia and Phaedra getting cool again, and then ultimately Portia introducing Phaedra to Drew, and that's how we're getting everybody in the mix back together. Over there, that's how Phaedra gets reintroduced to the group per se.
I think that's a tough sell, Leo. I think it's workable. I just think
Because remember on Basketball Wives when they didn't want Brandy around,
yeah.
Malaysia went and got Brandy out the bathroom. Like I don't want that to be the same situation.
I don't care about Shawnee, so let's go back to Housewives.
Well, I'm saying I don't want that to be the
think
same situation with Portia. I mean with Phaedra.
it's
Phaedra
hard
brings
to,
the lunch.
because Phaedra is a lot. Like that is peach holder material right there. To bring her back after she's off the show because of Portia, essentially. Not her alone, but she's off the show because of that scenario.
Well,
So
she's technically off the show because nobody but Portia wanted to film with her.
because of the allegation of that she
Yeah.
told Portia something about Candy. So at the end of the day, she's off the show in regards to a mix-up between her, Portia, and Candy. So what I'm saying is to leave that storyline there and for her to come back 4 years later as a friend to Porsha, it might look good for Porsha.
Well, I mean, she'll be a full time cast member. I mean, she'll still be a peach holder, but it'd be Portia reintroducing her to the show.
That's what I'm saying. That disconnect from her. The last time we seen Phaedra on Real Housewives of Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
Candy was crying, and they was talking about who said that, who said that, who said that, and then they found it at the reunion.
Who said that?
They found at the reunion it was Phaedra. So that's her last time in this franchise. So to come back and you be a friend of the girl that told on you, that broke up you and your best friend Candy, that would be a huge leap. I think it would do great for Porsha.
Candy.
I think it would be great for Porsha. I think Phaedra has to be willing to accept that type of role. I just don't see that happening. But I can, like I said, I can see it for Porsha because it would show bygones is bygones. I've done my wrongs. I said what I said. I apologize and I've moved forward. But for Phaedra,
If Phaedra's not the one that
yeah,
comes back, it'll probably be. I would love to see Kim come back, but Kim said she would come back only because of Portia.
I can see Kim being a friend to Porsha. I can see that. And I also think they can relate.
Because I mean, she loves Portia.
I think that they can relate. I think they would be a good time. But I think, again, Kim will gain attention for people wanting to know more and more and more and more and see more and more and more and more. If you bring her back to the show, you got to have a plan within that next year to make her a peach holder.
Well, I think they may just make her a peach holder, period, because Don't Be Tardy got canceled. Don't Be Tardy's not coming back now. This was
I mean, she's looking for a check, so.
This is the last season of Don't Be Tardy. So it'd be, I mean, Wendy
She
said
had 10 seasons of that show?
she had
9?
eight seasons.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know none of the kids.
I love her kids.
I couldn't pick them out of a lineup. I couldn't pick her out of a lineup. She changed so much.
But I think with Kim and the Kim, because you saw it on season 10, Kim and Portia, that was fun.
Two lighthearted girls.
What do you mean lighthearted?
They're not serious. Nene is a hard character.
Mm-hmm.
Kim, Portia, those are light characters that are easy to like, easy to watch, easy to support. Nene is an acquired taste. So when I say that Kim and Portia is easy, I mean they're simple, easy girls to root for. Nene is an acquired taste. You have to be built like that to understand some of the stuff that she thinks and says. So I think great. There you go.
My sister, because my sister's a Sagittarius, so
she is.
Yes, so I know.
Sagittarius too. Two of my best friends Sagittarius. Actually, one man and one female.
So I know how they are. My sister, Nene's personality is my sister's personality. She'll try to tell you otherwise, but if you meet my sister, bro, you be like, bro, damn, your sister.
Yeah. But so going back to the original content of Porsha and being with Simon, I think that for me, all I see is publicity stuff. That's all I see and all I can wrap my head around at this point. When I watch next season, because I'm going to make an effort to watch next season, I'm going to have to see what she brings to the table. If she comes on the show, she got a new house, a new car, new zip code, new business, just, hey, y'all, how y'all been? I'm good. Me and my man and this and that. I'm going to be like, go, bitch. But if she go on that show with some drama, talking about, oh, girl, I got my married and Kenya is broke because she ain't got no man. Honey, I don't want to see that. This season was a drag, and I know it was COVID is really why the season was really impacted and stuff like that. But next year, they're going to have to pick it up. They're going to have to bring Carlos back or something because we're going to need them to bring it.
That wasn't recorded this season. That's why I said Drew and LaToya come back, because there's a lot of stuff that they talked about with Drew and LaToya that weren't shown, that wasn't recorded, that Drew and LaToya both talked about. but we didn't get to see it, and that would have been stuff that I would have loved to see. Like I would have loved to have seen, Drew comforting Latoya, or Latoya, Latoya and Drew like talking to each other and relating to each other about family and everything like that, and her not, I'm saying, her situation with her husband and all that other stuff. Like
I
that's
think we need. I think we have to make a. I think True has to make a decision. Latoya or Drew, who are you going to invest in?
I think
Because
they invest in both of them.
as
That's I mean
what,
it's
as friends of the shows.
no.
So if you was a new person and this was your first season watching Real Housewives of Atlanta, you would be able to see the disconnect between all of the peach holders, as in who should be there and who can be replaced. As I look at all the episodes that I've watched
So you
this
have
year.
to, but you also have to break down too. Drew, okay, when production started, Drew wasn't there for the beginning parts, and the reason why she wasn't there was because she was sick, and they thought she may have had COVID. So that's why Drew was technically, but they didn't say on the show, obviously, because they couldn't. But Drew was tested and quarantined, so she was only quarantined with her family. That's why you only saw her film with her family that in the beginning parts.
I think whenever you
So
bring somebody off the show in their first time on reality TV, you make them a peach holder. Or you make them in other franchises like a Shawnee 2 or something like that. I think they have a lot of responsibility. And I think that production has a greater responsibility to showcase that person to where the fans experience them as a peach holder. If I
they
had never seen the first 60 seconds of any of these episodes, I would have never thought Drew was a peach holder. And that's what I mean by the show has a lot to do, because I should be able to sit down on this show and watch it and be like, okay, that's the head bitch. Them is
But
her
I
friends.
mean, but I
This,
mean,
that,
look,
this,
but I mean, look at Kim Fields though.
that. Oof. Terrible selection choice for the show.
But I'm saying, look at Kim Fields though. Like you wouldn't have thought that a Kim Fields would be holding a peach. You
I
probably would.
wouldn't thought that she would have been a friend to the show.
Exactly.
I
So
wouldn't
that's
think
what
Kim
that's what I'm
Fields want
saying
anything
about
to do.
that's what I said in the beginning about Drew being being kind of like a Kim Fields. It was more so the situation was, she has a family, and it was like she was brought on because her to actually show another a housewife, actual housewife with a family with marital problems and all the other stuff. That's why Kim Fields brought on, because Kim Fields had her family and all them kids.
I
That's
think it
why
was a
Kim,
terrible
that's why I
selection.
think it would be smart to bring Kim back, because Kim has her family and all them damn kids.
I think it would be smart to bring her back because she's an OG to the show.
That too.
I don't think it would be smart to bring her if she had never been on the show before. I think that with Kim, that's a legendary.
So Sal Miller says that Kim, referring to Kim Fields, is an entertainment vet. That's why she got a peach.
I would say I agree. I think there are some people who. Okay, so if we're going to go that direction, we have to remember this. In real life, Kim charges for appearances, for movie scenes, for that. So she probably has a fee to
Mm,
do per episode. So if I'm going to come to your show, it has to be at this rate, and it has to be up to what I charge normal productions. So making
I know
her
who you are.
fee. So for me, what'd you say?
Oh, Sal was telling me who he is. I know who he
Uh,
is.
so to make Kim a peach is not is out of respect, and is out of her legendary status. Like, she is legend, especially in Black entertainment, a
Exactly.
legend. So to bring her back as anything other than a peach holder, like, if I'm gonna risk my franchise, I'm gonna risk it on the Kim Fields. I'm not gonna risk it on the Latoya, because Kim is built-in equity. Like, that's built-in
Right.
support. Latoya, fans may not, but Kim, people are at least gonna give it a chance because they know it's Kim Fields.
Yeah. But I wasn't talking about bringing Kim Fields back. Love her, but She or
I don't. It never was. It was never a great fit from episode one. From just how uncomfortable she was with the messiness and direction of the
well,
show.
yeah, and but the thing was though that production didn't bring her on, just like with Tanya, they didn't bring them
Oh,
on.
you know, I
Um,
can't see the comments. Oh, I just clicked on them.
yeah, they didn't bring them on for drama. They brought them on because they gave a different vibe. Just like Juicidora. Juicidora wasn't technically brought on for drama. The drama would
But
have
I,
fallen on her lap, but it was
in order to stay consistent, you should bring people on the show that are for the drama. This is not the type of show that you bring wholly good, solid characters onto the show. We need you to come on the show so we can manipulate your personality, put you in situations you're not comfortable with, put you around people that's going to test you, put you around people that's going to call you on your shit. This is not the show for a Kim Fields.
Candy.
That is just not there.
He said Candy had to adjust at first as well. What came?
Hell, Candy, I think the difference is, as another legendary person, she came onto the show and was pulled out of her bag. Like they was pressing her to, hey, bring it. And Nene was like, what's up? I need content. I need
I
people to
just
watch
think
Sunday at 8 o'clock.
ghetto. She's just a little bit ghetto for my taste.
Oh yeah. She's
A
she's
little
always
hood.
been. She's always been ghetto. Always. You can put the girl with millions, she's still gonna be from the hood.
Exactly.
But I'm so sorry that I did not know that these comments was here.
She's goofy.
Huh?
You are goofy.
I didn't know. But I think that's another thing that I would say is like when you put people on reality TV, you never know what you're gonna get. And
Exactly.
I think when Candy saw that wholesome and chill and cool vibe wasn't the show, she adjusted. And I think also the characters of the show didn't let her just be there. They, what's up? You making beats? Like, what was going on? So, like, I get that. I also think there's people like Portia who find themselves on TV because I think when she first came on TV, it was quite boring to me. She was just like, "Oh, girl,"
Well,
and
and you
then,
have to understand too. She was in that relationship. She's married to an older with a kind of an older man.
oh, don't do that.
Not I'm not saying that. I'm
Don't do that.
saying older man,
They
and
in the same age group.
he want, I'm, and he wanted her. He wanted his wife to be. He wanted his wife to be portrayed a certain way. It was like, hey,
But she was a
you go.
certain way too. She was a nice, sweet, wholesome, chill girl. But that divorce and the drama and the thing that it brought out a whole new like Portia from season one to Portia now is not the same person.
She's not.
It's not the same person at all. And I think that's what reality TV does. It makes you who you always either wanted to be or who you can be. There's some people who don't do well. And I think for us as viewers, we want the people that's going to come and expand from the show. We don't want the people that's going to come in and be timid and not want to talk about nothing and don't want to bring their husbands on and the ex-boyfriends and the baby dad. We want the bring us a show.
Exactly.
And I think that she is still wrapping her head around that.
Yeah, Deshaun was boring.
I think she was boring, her man was boring. It was just a boring storyline. He's still boring to this day. So like, yeah. But I think like I said, we're gonna see what happens.
Even I think Lisa Wu was boring. Honestly,
You know, Lisa Wu is a very solid B minus. And by that I mean like if I'm fighting, she's gonna fight. Like you know what I mean? She's
just
gonna add to the content.
like Candy now, she has to be activated.
Yeah, and I love that you use that word activate. She definitely has it in her as a little woman, but you have to activate it. There's people like Nene, Kenya, that just is Kim, that's just bitch, what's up?
Right.
But like, I'm not really. I mean, I'm gonna check out the highlights next
I mean,
season.
that's why I love Kim Zo's. Like honestly, people can hate me all they want to, but I've always loved Kim Zolciak. I've
Why?
always huh?
Why?
Always loved Nene.
Why you
Just
love Kim?
why do I love Kim? What Kim is for me, how I seen it, she never made it like she was afraid to step in the ring with her friend. Like Nene was her friend, yeah, but I'm gonna, as your friend, I'm still gonna step into the ring with you. If you wanna be hard ass, I'm gonna be hard ass right with you. And quite as kept also, if you ever notice, like the their fights that they've always had, Nene has always said something that set Kim off, or Kim has always heard something that Nene said that set her off.
Hmm.
So from back to season one, when Nene said whatever she said in the car, in that limo, talking about, oh, I like to drink my Newport cigarettes. I can't sing. I want to be in the studio so I can sing a song, be a country star, and I can't sing. And I keep smoking. I keep running around my wigs from Party City and da da da. And that got back to Kim, and that's what set Kim off, and that's what started the whole feud with them in the beginning. And
Um,
it was like,
yeah.
Nene dissed Nene dissed her for a check. Nene is a bully, and she know who to mess with.
This
I
who?
don't.
Is he talking about? Is he talking about Kim?
Yeah,
She dissed Kim for a check?
yeah,
Mm.
but
Well, considering as she brought her to the show
she
to
did.
help her get a check, that's probably accurate.
But I love. But my thing is like what I loved about what made me start watching Housewives of Atlanta was Nene and Kim, and just watching them.
Them interact together.
Their interactions together.
Yeah,
It was like
yeah.
you seeing these two girls, you seeing Ebony and Ivory, they friends and they fall out and they become friends again.
I
Then
never seen two dysfunctional friends like that
right, but it was like,
ever.
but you know how Nene always says it's a sisterhood. Like you could like with Nene and Kim, that was that for me. It looked like two. It was just like two. It for me, it felt like two sisters that were always, they're when they're good, they're good. When they're not, they're not.
I think for me, it showed me that there was no boundaries set.
Hmm.
Their dysfunction was so far left or so far right. And I think one of the things that's missing that is hard to watch is people who can literally beat this out of each other, or one of them slap the other one, and then 2 episodes later they sipping cocktails at the last bar. So it just was a unpredictable, unmanageable type of relationship. Like I think they're both good if they both have their own show. And like she's the HBIC on her show, she's the HBI on her, so she has her show. You know what I mean? I think they're but together it's too much. Especially when you got 7 or 8 other girls that you're trying to fit within that same hour.
But like with the like what happened what happened in season 10,
She said he to put you on payroll. They need to.
what happened in season 10, like I was excited for it to be Nene, Kim, and Sheree back together again. Like that was exciting.
On this show?
Yeah, on season 10.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay. Okay.
when
Last time
I
we saw
heard that Nene, Kim, and Sheree were all going to be on season 10, I was geeked. Like three OGs back together again. Like that's awesome. And then what
I
happened?
think it's good if but you have so many other characters there.
Yeah,
Like you could
and what
center the show, but it's just
happened? Where Nene was talking about you had cancer, you had this, you had that, you have that, and da da da. And then Portia and Sheree like call Kim like, and Portia's like, Kim, I did not know you survived cancer. I'm so sorry to hear that. And she was like, what? Who said I had cancer? Like,
bitch, good day.
I never had cancer. What are you talking about? She said, well, Nene said on the bus that you had cancer and you
Listen,
cancer survived. She said, I've never said that. And what else she say? And her and Sheree just read it out everything that Nene had said on the bus and and then that's what set Kim to send the
it ain't
text.
never been no type of code on this show.
Uh,
These
that's
hoes
what
have no limits.
well well one thing that Kim that's one thing that Kim, Nene, and Sheree have always agreed on, even though between Sheree and Nene, that line was crossed. But one thing they always agreed on was to never speak on each other's kids.
That's interesting. I think there's different ways to speak on each other's kids.
Well, what the one thing was when um, Sheree brought up about Nini's oldest son stealing out of Walmart during an argument. That's one thing you don't do on speaking up on kids.
I think the bigger thing that insinuates is the lack of parenting. But yeah, I'm like I told you before, I've never been a person who thinks that two grown adults should ever reference kids as a way to throw shade towards the other person because kids are going to do what they're going to do
Right.
regardless of how good you raise them. I think also I've seen Nene say a lot of things about Kim through throwing shade at her that could say that she spoke about Kim's
Yeah.
kids. I just think it's how you phrase it. Like, you know what I mean? If you say you have a
Lisa,
bad
who's your
home,
favorite? Sorry.
if you say, you know, somebody has roaches or rats or something, you could be talking about the quality of your home, saying you don't make your kids bathe or you don't clean up necessarily or you don't do this. There's a lot of ways to talk about people's kids without talking about people's kids.
Yeah, like just yeah. Because what upset me with that situation was Nene saying, "Oh, your daughter has roaches in her vagina." Like, what?
I think she's basically saying that your house is dirty. Basically, she's saying the quality of your home is poor and there's roaches running around your house. So that's basically what she was saying, which is another way to show a lack of parenting. But yeah, I think like the comment just said, that's what all these housewives do. That's what all these bitches do. This is
Right.
all about drama and content. One thing about Nene is that she understood that if a hoe is coming into the show, they need to bring it. And they need to be able to go toe to toe and they need to be able to produce.
And that was another thing I liked about with Nene and Phaedra and Kim Fields when they took Kim Fields out to talk, and then Kim was bringing up all the drama with Kenya, and she's like, I don't do that stuff. They was like, look, when you're dealing with someone like Kenya,
You
you
need to be
have to
ready.
know, you have to read her. And
Yeah.
they were giving her the read session. Like that was
Yeah,
really
like you gotta know, you gotta have your comeback, clap back game has
right,
to be on point or you will not survive. This is not real life where you see these bitches every 5 or 6
right,
months, y'all, you know, in the same room and then you move on. These is bitches that you in a closet for 12 hours a day
right,
and they saying action and cut because they trying to produce a TV show, which is supposed to be reality.
right.
So, I mean, some people just ain't cut for it. And people like Kim, I don't want to say she's too good for the show, but she just doesn't qualify for the show.
Well, she qualified at the time for what they were looking for.
Which
But
was a misstep in production, if you ask me.
well, I mean, it worked out with Tanya a little bit.
I would if I was Kim Fields, that's what I'm saying about like when somebody said that she comes from entertainment. There's certain things you don't do to bring down your brand. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like I would never be, you know, even if I fall off and I'm out of the if I'm not relevant for 5 or 6 years, my first job back wouldn't be Love and Hip Hop. You know what I mean?
And the
It
thing was that
just
Kim Fields was I mean was still working. Like she was still relevant, still working.
she should have stayed
She
right
said she didn't need. I mean, it was like, well, I didn't need the show, but I mean, I don't mind doing the show.
if she's not turning down other jobs for the show and she's has the availability, okay, cool.
Hmm.
Add to your bank account. But what I'm saying is the show is all about the show is about a franchise and a brand.
Hmm.
Kim's brand is outside of the show. There is no positive that can come to her brand unless she's showing products, unless she's showing videos, unless she's in the showing us on her on movie sets. Her brand did not excel because of Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Right.
Porsha brand
It was just a
excel.
mark on her. It was just a mark on her resume.
It's a mark on her resume for the negative. Other people have blossomed. Candy has 17,000 businesses since she came on the show, and she was non-fashionable when she came on. She was non-popular, not a lot of followers. Portia, the same way, a B minus character, pushed into the limelight, and she took a hold of it and ran with it. Other people can't do that because it's not in
Kenya
their
get more supporting cast.
hmm?
I said Kenya's getting more supporting cast roles.
Because of the drama. And it seems to me like she's playing Kenya on all these
Yeah,
shows.
if you watch Family Reunion, she's playing herself. Like they
I
call her
I
cousin Kenya, but
I
she's really
heard
just
the
playing
Nene
herself.
line on one
Yeah,
of the highlights, and I was like, did she just change
this
that at the scene, or did they write that for her to say?
that's what I wonder.
Because it just seems so forced, and I'm just
The,
like, girl,
the
you
girl
don't need
wanted
that.
the girl said she wanted a giraffe. She said, "I'll call Nene." Like what?
Yeah, it was just it was just like it was thrown in there. Like, hey, I'm gonna try something on the next take.
And they just
But
left
yeah,
it.
it is what it is. In the end, I think like we're going back to Portia. It's just I'm gonna let the tape play itself out. As of right now, it's a storyline gimmick publicity stunt to me. If we still talking about this in October, I validate it. But as of right now, sister can't get nothing from me.
I say wedding.
If she get married this year, now
No,
girl,
not this year.
girl,
I say
girl.
she'll probably have a wedding. Her wedding will be the finale of season 15 if she's back on if she returns. The-
Wait, that's 2 seasons from now?
yeah.
Oh, that's a long time. That's a, that's a
So
long
basically,
time.
I'm saying like give her you know what I'm saying, a year engagement.
Listen, she done met this man. This man has got filed for divorce,
Hmm.
filed papers. They done got together, went public, and engaged in 5 months. You think she's gonna wait 18 months to walk down the
Or
aisle?
maybe they'll do it for the finale of this of season 14. Then who knows?
Listen, she definitely ain't. If
It's
she, if
going to be. It's going. Either way it goes, it's probably going to be televised because
it,
everybody.
oh, I would even. This is the thing. The don't mess up the bag. Now, let's be clear here. This is about a check. This is about a bag. You cannot pay me enough to have my wedding on the season 15, 14 finale for 10 minutes. I need 1 hour next summer, 2.5 million,
So
and
here's the
boom.
question. So if they don't do the if they don't do the if they don't do it as the finale, if they don't do it, so look, if they don't do it as a finale, they're going to give her another spinoff, Portia's Wedding.
She must. She must. This. If this was Portia 3 or 4 years ago, she could put the wedding on the show as a season in the season finale. Portia is a certified peach holder at this point. You do not put her wedding on the finale. You give Portia 3 or 4 weeks every Sunday leading up to the new season, and then that finale has the wedding, and then the next week the Real Housewives start. Portia should be her money should have doubled or tripled at least from by now. Her fee for showing her wedding on TV should be nowhere near what it would have been when Candy did her wedding.
But I mean, look at Cynthia's. I mean, Cynthia's wedding was on the was technically on the show. Never mind. You're right.
Seriously. Seriously.
I didn't think about this.
Was she going to get a special?
I didn't think about the
Seriously.
name. Think about the name.
I'm saying that's what I'm talking about. Branding and optics. There's no way because her regular fee is already in the finale.
Right.
You got to pay me for my location. You got to pay me for the rights to my wedding. You got to pay me for the viewing and showing the place we're having the wedding. I want all that outside of what you already paying me. Give me 3 to 4 weeks in October when the show debut November 4th. I need all of October every Sunday at 8 o'clock.
And I can tell
I
you
need the
who's going.
bag.
I can already tell you like three. I can tell you who's probably going to be in this wedding.
Don't fumble this bag, Portia. This is he. I know he worth 40 million, but that ain't 40
Right.
million in the bank.
Right.
Don't fumble this bag.
Because we got. I mean, look, you got Shamia. Well, Lauren's going to be maid of honor. We already know that.
Yeah, or her mama,
Her
because
mom.
sometimes people do make their mama the maid of honor.
Well, she. If anything, it'd be her. It'd be Lauren as the maid of honor. Her mom would probably be the matron. The matron. Her mom or Shamia would be the matron of honor.
But I see small wedding though. I see I
No,
see 75 to 125 people.
nah, because the thing is that the people want Portia's happily ever after. Finally,
I
this
do.
is what
I
we've
think
been
she can
waiting
do
on.
extravagant, but I don't want to see 500, 600 people.
Yeah, it may. I mean, it may. I mean, it could be a small like two
Now, if
hundred.
she want to make it open to the public, I'm coming. I'll
Oh,
drive from here to there. But if it's gonna like I
we are
want
going.
to see,
Let me tell you, if she opened that to the public, we are going to Atlanta.
baby, listen, I'm
Like,
gonna be there.
bro,
I didn't care about it that much. I'm going if it's open to the public.
right? I'm calling you like Meech. It's
But
open.
listen,
Let's go.
I want to see Portia. Listen, the last wedding, Pockets was different. He was there, but Pockets was different. And I don't even know how much he made over. I need to look up that, see how much Cordell made
But
in
that
his
was on
11th
Say Yes
season.
to the Dress, though, right?
Huh?
That was on Say Yes to.
Yeah, Portia was on Say Yes to the Dress. Mm-hmm. No, Portia was on not Say Yes to the Dress. She
Is it
was
Say
on
Yes to the Dress or Bridezillas?
no, it wasn't Bridezillas. It was what was Portia on? We saw them. I can't think of what it was. But yes, I want to. But then again, like I said, this is another culture husband from a different country.
That's gonna
They
be a
might got
banging
horses,
Nigerian wedding.
carriages. They might have ostriches. Ain't no telling what's gonna be at the wedding. Be coming to America 3, and I want to see it. And I better not see it between November and March. I'm
No,
just gonna say that right now. I want to see it in April or I want to see it in October. Sis, call me if you need a manager. You need to maximize this bag.
let's see.
Because ain't no way I'm putting this on the season finale. It just ain't gonna happen.
No, they need to have an actual show. But I think you know what? It may be the season. It may be after the season. I think it may be after the season 14 reunion that they actually show that her show. Like it'll probably be
Yeah,
because you
it
know.
has to be because we got to get through the relationship actually
Yeah,
on the next season. We can't see her going to the bridal shower and going to pick out the wedding cake. That's not what we want to see. We want to see you and Fallon having a talk. We want to see you and Candy, you and Kenya arguing about who both each other hoes. We want to see the drama next season. Save all the good stuff for next off season.
yeah.
Next season, I want drama, 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 drama. Because this season was. Whew,
It was.
is it on? Oh yeah, they're still on. Okay. This season was a drag.
I think, that's why I think that's why I think Drew and Latoya deserve another season, and I think they should go ahead and upgrade Latoya because of what Latoya brought this season. I do know that the reason why Latoya didn't get what she should have got was because of her husband, her ex husband, whatever he is.
I think trying to mix and match all these storylines next year is going to be hell. Portia has another season being HBIC, and you need to start trickling down from there.
Mm-hmm.
What are you adding to the main storyline from there? I don't care about Todd. I don't care about what's the baby? What's the boy's name?
Ace,
Ace. I don't care about Ace. I don't care about the big daughter. I
Riley,
don't
or
care
Kate,
about
whatever.
the bigger one. I don't care about her. I don't care about the Todd's daughter. I don't care about Brooklyn. I don't care about a Prophet. I want to see the ladies on the show carrying the show. And
You
like
know
I
what
said,
though?
it starts with Portia,
Let's
and
see.
you fill in the spots where you need
So,
to be.
let me see. Hold on. Let me see something. Simon, Ralph.
Simon is who husband? Drew's.
No, that would be Portia's fiance.
Oh, you talking about okay.
So
I
Simon,
get
Ralph,
those mixed up.
Todd.
Mark.
Uh,
Both
he ain't,
Marks. Oh,
he ain't gonna.
Mike. Mike. I mean Mike.
Well, if Cynthia comes back, Mike.
Cynthia coming back.
If Cynthia comes back, Mike. We'll talk tomorrow. Why I said that. Um.
Mark.
Uh. He don't want to be on camera.
Also, if you bring Simon to the show, you gotta bring Dennis. You
Yeah.
gotta see, I wanna see the full transparency of how y'all went from counseling session to him now supporting your new man.
If Phaedra returns Apollo,
You can't bring Apollo. She ain't with Apollo.
trust me,
You
you got
can't bring Apollo. Why do you want Apollo?
co-parenting.
Oh, okay.
So it'd be the co-parenting. What the hell? So it'd be the
But you know
co-parenting.
Apollo gonna want a bag.
True,
And
probably.
Apollo wanting a bag brings in
But
the new
this,
girlfriend.
but the cool thing about bringing in a, but also the cool thing about bringing in Apollo, yeah, bringing Phaedra back and then bringing Apollo as like the co-parenting with, what's her name, Shireen, whatever his new
Mm-hmm.
fiance's name is, Shireen.
Green.
Yeah.
Pretty girl.
So we get this. We'll see that the co-parent dynamic. Plus,
But will we
let's
really
say
see
that
that
Ralph.
though?
Let's say Ralph meets Ralph and Apollo meet, and Simon and Apollo meet. They all become cool, right?
But you got Todd already.
I'm gonna tell you. That's what I'm saying. So
Oh,
we know Todd and Apollo had a falling out. So that also brings the men back into the mix as well.
oh, listen.
Because
The
when you look
show
at it,
is
like
60
New Jersey
minutes.
has so much drama already. Look, New Jersey has so much drama already amongst the women, but the men also, but adding the men into it, as lifts the drama, like you know what I'm saying, it balances the show out.
That's what I'm saying by
So that's why I think Atlanta they need to bring the men back into the show because when all the wives were married or all the wives had men on the show, there was balance.
it was also character balance because a lot of them were able to talk about discussions with
Hmm.
the men and just let the conversation stay there. And then when they met with the girls, they could actually hash it out and move forward.
Right,
It seems like they use the other girls now as that person to talk to when they already have a biased opinion. We need
right.
somebody that's not involved, that wasn't there, they don't know what happened, blah blah blah.
Like as much as we didn't really like Cordell, when Portia talked to Cordell about the situation, he was like, "Hey, babe, like, look, this is drama. You don't need drama. I don't need drama. Let's just go ahead and
Cordell was like, "Lay,
chill."
I gotta go work at NFL Network tomorrow. I don't I don't need you fighting with these hoes."
Right.
But I think you have to, like I said, we have to, when you dealing with people like Phaedra, Kent, Sheree, you have to, when you bring them back, you bring them back. You don't bring them and half of their character is gone. If you bring Apollo, you got you got to bring the dungeon. You got to bring Kenya. It's gonna be drama. You got to bring them back as we knew them, because we can't get out of our head who Phaedra is. You can't bring her back as just a friend of Portia. We don't never see Apollo. We don't never see Mr. President. We don't never see Chocolate. You got to bring Phaedra back as Phaedra.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like when like bringing her, when I said bring her back as Portia's friend, I meant still as a peach holder,
As an
but
introduction.
as
Yeah.
it just says introduction as a reintroduction back onto the show,
But
and
that's what I'm saying. You have
then
to,
she has her own scenes,
yes,
kind of like how they do in the beginning when they're bringing like people onto the show.
yeah, because we
Yeah,
have to get reinvested.
yeah,
But I think bringing Phaedra on the show is it's a hard sell for me because you got to have the season is usually driven by one major story, and then everything else trickles down. Bringing Phaedra on the show is a major story. If Candy, Kenya, and Portia are all peach holders next season, bringing Phaedra back, that's three different conflicts with three main characters. So bringing Phaedra back is a lot to dedicate, a lot of time that True will be invested in those three issues when the main storyline is already Portia, Fallon, and Simon. So what
yeah.
I'm saying is,
But the big issue is going to be. I mean, the big thing,
oh, also
that's
next
going to bring the
season,
ratings is Portia. I mean, it's Phaedra sitting down, finally having that sit down with Candy. That would, like, you know what I'm saying, like that's going to be a season
that
highlight.
would be good. I don't think Candy sees the value from a personal aspect. Probably from a show aspect, it would be great. But personally, I don't think she would be there. Because like, what is this doing for me really? Like, do I really care? Like, but also I was gonna say this while you were talking, you made me think of it.
Sorry.
Expand the show. Next year is no COVID, well, less COVID. Expand the show, more weeks,
Hmm.
dive deeper into these relationships. Because if you bring Phaedra back, you can't do that in the same time period that you did this last season. You got to open up expand the show, even make
Yeah.
it 90 minutes or make it an extra month longer or something, because you was compacting a lot of stuff in 60 minutes and we only really get 40 minutes.
Well, they actually, well, according to Candy and well, according to everybody, they cut a lot of stuff out.
Yeah. Which
There's a
I think that you have this, the season has to make sense.
hmm
Like you have to, it has to flow. Sometimes it hurts some characters and sometimes it helps others, but the season has to flow. I think
and
that
I
if you
feel like, and
bring,
also, but they said, I feel like I do feel like they kind of set Drew up a little bit.
they set Drew up, how?
Someone tried to call me just for the finale part.
Set her up for what?
I really think production kind of set her up just a little bit because production knew what everybody was the gifts that everybody was buying. I think production should have with production knowing that she was gonna bring the gag gift. I think they should have also told her like, hey, make sure you bring a real one too.
But why does
But
she need to be told that?
why didn't they need to be told anything?
I'm like, she should know better. Like,
But again, but I mean, it's just like you said. It's just like you said weeks ago. Like, rookie mistakes.
rookie mistakes. And like I said, when people are on camera for the first time, you got to remember the one thing they're thinking about is how can I be able to come back next season? So some of them play it safe, some of them go too far, but it's all about, damn, I got a 1-year contract, I'm making whatever. How can I get 2 or 3 months? Like, how can I extend my run? So I don't really, that's why I don't really like Latoya and them. I can't really make a final statement on them because they were still in that first season trying to figure out, okay, where do I fit in and how can I come back?
Yeah. So Sheena said, Candy won't accept Phaedra coming back. She won't ever get over and forgive.
I think that you can forgive and still not want her to be on the show, or still not agree to be a part of something that she's a part of. For me, if I was Candy, I could forgive, but I think it's also about being hurt. So it's not just about the forgiveness, as far as you said this on TV and publicly bash me, bash my brand by even mentioning this. It's also about a hurt factor. Like, you was a good friend to me and we was real friends. So that could be a hurt thing that a lot of people don't never get over. But
But
also,
also remember, hurt people hurt people.
hurt people. But I could never be on the show and somebody is profiting from me in that type of aspect. After, if I was Candy, I would not do the show with Phaedra getting paid for a show that I'm also a part of. It just wouldn't sit with me that I'm a part of that,
But
especially when I don't need the show. I think that's a key
yeah,
difference.
but isn't it safe to say that Candy's profiting off of Phaedra as well?
Hmm. Yeah, but
So
I'm not going to let her come back and continue to profit. I think it's definitely probably hypocritical. It's probably hard to wrap your head around. But for me, I'm just talking about me personally. I don't know what that woman is gonna do. I'm just saying for me, like if we were real friends, like me and you, how we're real friends. If we was on a TV show and we've me and you have been cool for years. So if we go on a TV show and you do something that's hurtful behind my back and blah blah blah, and you go off the show, and they ask me, would you want Leo to come back? No, like me and him, we haven't reconciled personally in everyday life. So no, I don't want him to come back to the show. if me and you spend a year or two reconciling in private off the show, yes, you can come back to I would be like, yeah, bring them back to the show. We've moved forward. But I'm not gonna do that on the show. Does that make sense?
I get it, but it's also, but I mean, it's also this, but also like they all have this saying, don't disrespect me in public and then apologize to me in private. So I mean, so you would.
That's a good line right there. I think the disrespect should be in the same form it was given as the apology. I agree with that.
So I feel like if Phaedra's gonna fully apologize again, because she did apologize at the reunion, we saw that.
I
Uh,
agree.
so if Phaedra's gonna apologize again, she would have to apologize again in public how everything happened.
I don't know if
Even
she
though
needs to apologize again. Um,
true,
I don't know if there's any value of her apologizing again. I don't know what the value is there. But also, I think,
but
like
I
I
mean,
said,
I mean, honestly, I love Phaedra, like, and I think Phaedra loves me too. But I love Phaedra, like, well, because I
like
mean,
I said,
we talk sometimes on another platform, and like she's a very sweet person. Like I
yeah,
love her
I've met her
so
a few
much,
times. I
and
think I was gonna say that I do think Candy did as in how I just said I wouldn't want her back on the show if I was Candy.
mhm.
Also, I think Candy did a not great job of really articulating why it was hurtful. I don't think she did it like because it's one thing to say a rumor about somebody and apologize and you guys move forward. She didn't really do a great job of explaining how that lie could travel and how it could affect other areas of her life off the show. So I do think she probably owes it to Phaedra to say, it's not only you embarrassed me, you hurt me in this way, this way, and this way. And I had to go and do repair relationships, or I had to go out and make things right with business partners and stuff like that. She didn't really do a good job at that. So in that aspect, I do think, she might be open to bringing Phaedra back because I think that she's done some growing since then,
Mhm.
but I think that she just didn't do that involving Phaedra.
And I also noticed that Todd and Candy both do not no longer follow Carlos.
Yeah, and see that's the thing. Like
And from my understanding, what that he was the one that told. I mean, even though he denies it, but it was
he was
said
the
that
one that
he
told
was.
Phaedra.
Yeah.
So this is my thing, and this is why I never during that season I never thought it was a big deal
Hmm.
because prior to Phaedra telling Portia that Portia and Candy had already had sexual or close to sexual interactions.
They
So
kissed. Uh,
so if Candy was going to do that, she already had that opportunity prior to Phaedra even saying anything. So I think Candy's issue with Portia is that Portia knew it was a lie when she said it, but she said it because she was on the show. So she wanted to get drama and get whatever clout from that. I think the issue is people like when you have a real friend and you go on a show, you have to understand that we are here to create a show.
mhm.
And I think Candy and Todd not following Carlos is because they forgot that they are the talent and he is the producer.
Hmm.
There's the loyalty that y'all have should be off camera.
Right.
On camera, this is strictly to keep us both employed and to get us a check. I told Phaedra something that I heard in the streets. She repeated it in the confessional, or she competed it to the next repeat show or whatever. This is TV show. Me and you are real friends. And I think people like Candy,
Hmm.
who came into this reality world not just being a regular from Atlanta,
Hmm.
not thinking about stuff like that. And
Right.
that's why I say it's not easy transition for everybody. When you try to apply real life expectations and real life situations to this kind of scripted world. It's not scripted, but it's forced. Like they put you in a room and say, "Hey, action." So I
Situation.
so I think in that aspect, if Candy was to think about it, I think she would want Phaedra on the show
Mhm.
because it's kind of sad that the reality TV broke up that type of relationship and that type of power dynamic that they had as friends. And you should never let reality TV do that. Y'all should be in cahoots together to get the bag. I think that's why you said earlier with Kim and Nene, I think they both understand my feelings might be hurt right now. But at the same time, this is keeping us both employed, us both relevant, us both getting a check. Give me a second to relax, recoup, and get through my hurt and what have happened between us. But I'm coming back to the show and I'm coming back to film with
Right.
you.
Because you notice right after season 10, right after the season 10 reunion and stuff aired and everything like that, that's when they found out Greg had cancer. And
In real life,
Nene,
then.
Nene posted up, thank you to everybody for reaching out to her. And Kim was one of the ones. She was like, yes, Kim Zolciak, thank you so much for reaching out.
Because at the end of the day, I know you outside of this TV show.
Right.
I talk to you when it's not and when there's we didn't get paid for it. So it's that's what I'm saying by like when we had the conversation a couple weeks ago. When you're bringing somebody on like as a friend to the show, or I'm bringing this person to the show, or whatever, y'all need to have an understanding that this is work. This is not for us to not speak to each other for weeks and months when we stop filming about. It's not that deep.
Right.
Now, if they're saying personal things that y'all discussed in private on TV and you don't see it till it gets on TV, okay, maybe you got a point there. But
Right.
y'all as friends should have an understanding that y'all are co-workers on screen,
Mm-hmm.
not the real life friends that talk at home in private. It's two different, but it's probably hard for some people to wrap their head around that
Because when it's hard when when the two end up
when
happening.
they intertwine.
Like we already know that Kim, Nene, and Sheree all knew each other before they got on the show.
Yeah.
Like Kim and Nene always tell the story about how they met at the gym. Like they had the same trainer, and Kim was at the gym, and she's like, "What's your name?" She said, "Nene." She said, "What?" She said, "Nene, like your knees, bitch."
I cannot handle.
And like
Yeah,
that's
I
how
think
they end up
they be
becoming cool.
missing. That's why some of these that's like when that first thing first happened about the sex dungeon and all that. For me, as a person in that type of community that throws shade and says things and you know is petty at times, for me, it was just another one of those things. It wasn't like this huge dramatic, like you're T.I. and Tiny in 2021. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't that deep to me when Portia in Phaedra said it. It was just like, you know, a shade thing that you throw out. It wasn't like, oh my God, they said you know, stole 90 million from some, you know, it wasn't like dramatic. It was just like a regular shade comment. But the way that production and Candy and everybody hanged on to it, I was just like, I didn't get it. At first, it was episode I used to watch, like, why are they still talking about a shady comment? Like,
Because something for me in that situation too, but nobody tends to address it. Is Candy said a lot of stuff about Portia in that argument as well. I heard you were a freako back in the day. I heard this. I heard that. I heard this. I heard that.
which ain't
So
nothing new to anybody in Atlanta.
right. And so the thing was like she kept saying all these things that she heard. So it was like, okay, well you heard this. Well I heard such 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 such.
And
So it's
I
like both were sitting there going back and forth in the argument talking about what you've heard about each other.
I think wrong is wrong, no matter how who says it. Wrong is wrong is wrong is wrong. I think when somebody's throwing it at you and you're responding, it's still wrong. It's understandable, but it's still wrong.
Right.
Neither one of them said anything that wasn't already discussed in public. It might have been not been discussed on the franchise TV show that comes on,
Right.
but that was known conversation through the streets of Atlanta on both of their parts, and both of them being freakos.
Mm-hmm.
So neither one of them should have really been surprised that the other person would say that because it's common shade or common truth that some people think. So, I mean, I just never got the big deal about it. I understood Candy talking about how business wise and her reputation. I understood all that. But even those same people are going to realize that you're on a reality TV show. They're not. You're not on Law and Order.
Right.
You're on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Shade is going to get thrown. Accusations going to be thrown. You're going to be in headlines. I don't think the people that maybe she did lose some business deals. I don't know. But the majority of people with common sense would understand she's on a reality TV show and they are producing a sitcom basically. So I never got the whole thing about it. So that's just my two
I just
cents.
feel like the whole argument was a bunch of, we're repeating rumors at each other. That's what it that's what it was to me.
For me, what was the real value?
So the argument was about when Portia and Sheree were at the table, and basically Sheree had told Portia about when Candy was brought up Block, and
Yeah.
said that Portia was sleeping with Block. Portia had slept with Block or whatever, because Portia dated Block, and so Sheree said,
When he had money.
huh?
When he had money.
Right. So Sheree said, "Well, dang, she acted like she was in the closet while y'all sleeping together." She said, "Okay," and Portia said, "Okay," and probably still in one, but we're not gonna talk about that right now. And then that's when Sheree was like, "Well, dang, she's saying that Candy was in a is a lesbian in the closet waiting to come out," and then she repeated it to then
I
Sheree went
mean,
back
a
and repeated that
lesbian
to
would be a
Marlo.
stretch. Bisexual will
Mm,
probably be more
yeah,
aligned.
and so she went back and repeated that to Marlo. Then Marlo brought it up at the dinner, like, Candy, somebody said you were a lesbian in the closet.
Yeah, and one thing I do hate is how much this show relies on gay and LGBT references and talking points. That is another thing. But we'll get into that another time. But to call somebody a lesbian is like, girl, it's bad language usage, and it's also misplaced.
And I felt like, the whole in the closet thing, that was stupid, because it was like, it was in response to a shady comment that you made, and y'all both were sitting there throwing shade at Candy that
Yeah,
day when she left. But then you took this shade and went back and ran with it.
it's always interesting what people tend to cling on to. That's why I never thought it was a
I would
thing.
say one thing I liked about this season was but there wasn't really any gay bashing, or, you know,
What do you mean?
as I mean, I'm trying to see how to. There was no shade. There was no using LGBTQ community as a way of throwing shade or anything like that.
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
Especially my friend Robert, when he was the one that was that the one that did the whole that upgraded King's Rome
Mhm.
governor. Yeah, like there was none of that. Oh, I like Robert, and finger snapping, all that other stuff like that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's so
They really showed that they liked him. So that was one thing I really liked. That's one thing I guess about the season I could say that's positive was, it wasn't any of that.
yeah, which it just never fits the show, and the way that they use it is so reach.
Especially from Kenya.
That's why I'm glad Nene canceled that little whatever she thought she was about to go into.
The recession?
Yeah, because it looked a hot mess. It
Well,
sounded a hot mess, and
well,
would have
what everybody doesn't understand about what that wasn't going to be the actual show.
it better not be.
What that was that it was some guys that came to Lanithia. They were just sitting there having a conversation, and then her friend said, "Hey, let's just go ahead and record this for your Instagram, and just like give people a peek of what the recession could be like."
I never want to see a recession being headed by Nene or a black female in general, because I think Nene's depiction of her interactions with gay people is always as if gay people are a plus one and not as a actual breathing human. So this is not the lane that I want to see. I love her reads on the show. Like I love them. But I think when when you're working with LGBT folks, they are not sub characters and they are not your assistants, they're not your PAs. They are living, breathing people who can lead as well. So I think my issue with her would be just the interaction that she seems to develop.
But I mean, her only her only gay plus one was Dwight, but then they fell out.
Yeah, and I
But
just yeah.
Kenya, but I mean, you gotta go back. Kenya had Miss Lawrence, Brandon, and Kim had what's his name that did her hair.
Whatchamacallit, the
Um,
big one.
yeah, he did her hair, and yeah, he did. He was on her hair and wore the heels. He
Yeah.
was cool. He was funny.
Yeah, I'm just not
Oh,
I'm not a fan.
of him or just
Any of the people that you just named of how they were displayed on the show.
gotcha.
I just never tapped into
I
it.
mean, I didn't like Brandon, period, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I don't like when those
So
or
you
that word.
like a Don Juan.
Yeah, yeah. He's a legitimate has a legitimate job, a legitimate character. He's not just a coffee holder. You know what I mean? He's not a hairdresser. He's not, used for his service. I don't like when it is depicted like that. And I think more shows need to
So
be more
you
aware.
more so like Dwight when he was with Phaedra, planning parties and everything like that. Not when he was like, but I mean Dwight was kind of like a Don Juan because he went from Nene to Lisa to Sheree. Like he was friends with
He's an entrepreneur.
yeah, he was friends. I mean, he was pretty much friends with everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like the visibility
Yeah.
and the representation of those type of characters be on the show. What I'm saying is that when you specifically have to have a gay hairstylist, or ooh, I'm gonna have a gay masseuse, or I'm gonna have a gay ballroom teacher, or whatever it is, that shouldn't be your only interaction with that community, is what I'm saying. And I don't like when shows are not aware of their placement.
And I hear Shamar coming back in some form or capacity.
She's boring.
Shamari?
Mhm. She's boring to me. Is that the one that's with the R&B singer?
I loved Shamari
Is she the one with the R&B singer?
with Ronnie DeVoe.
Yeah, yeah, she's
Yeah,
boring.
I feel like I'm to be honest.
And by boring to me, I mean not entertaining. On the show, I don't mean boring as if like she don't bring any. I mean like I'm
She
not
brought more than
entertained.
Eva brought.
I don't think Eva was ever going to be entertaining.
I will always say that Shamari brought more than Eva brought, and Shamari was more open than Eva was open. Like Eva wasn't even trying to be open about her finances.
I mean, girl, nobody expects you to be a millionaire.
Right.
Let me say a multi-millionaire because she might be a millionaire. Nobody expected you to have.
Open about her marital issues. She's open about them having, having threesomes in their marriage and everything like that. Like they're basically another Candy and Todd ish.
Besides, he had a legitimate career
Career.
path
Yeah.
that was in a well. Let me not say Todd didn't have a legitimate field, but He wasn't in between work. Let's put it like that.
Because when they started dating, Todd had to leave production.
Worked out well.
Mm-hmm.
It worked out well.
So just going over housewives relationships in the past period though, like there have been some good, some bad. And I mean, again, you said like people working in the in the job. Like, well,
Within the franchise.
getting the franchise. Todd was on the production team. And
Yeah, I think outside the cast is a different dynamic.
I got you.
Like long as I know, he wasn't sleeping with anybody that was a peach holder or a friend to the show.
I
So
got
I think that's the difference. But point taken, because he still was on set, he still was aware of what was happening and could see the different relationships forming.
you. Mm-hmm.
But it's all about what works for you. Like, what do you like? What do you, who do you want? And, she found what she wanted.
And that's that. So, me, tell them where they can find you at.
I don't know. Where can you find me? I don't know my social media stuff offhand, bro. I never know that stuff. I don't know. So my Instagram is one king underscore Meech. And then it's just one King Meech on Twitter. And you can find some of my music on Apple Music under King Meechy, Meechie. And yeah. I should put my new single Friends and Enemies up with a Porsche picture of Porsche Fallon and Simon.
You ain't ish.
I want to do that. I thought about doing that, putting a picture with Portia, Fallon, and Simon, then doing the one with Ryan from Nine Mag because he was sleeping with his boy wife, and then doing one like remember when Tiana Taylor was into it with Tay Hacker about that basketball player? And then I just was thinking of different people I could just scroll in like a 1-minute video with my song in the background. Since the song is called Friends and Enemies,
It
you would
is.
show some like
Support so you win a lesson family.
that's the song.
All
But yeah. This has been cool. So I'll see you tomorrow.
right, guys.
Hopefully I can jump on. I'm
Yeah, we'll
hoping.
be back live tomorrow night.
What time the show tomorrow? Is that 6?
I think it's at 6. Either 6 or 5. I don't know. You
All right.
just look out for the post. We're gonna be at Condado's. Well, I'm gonna be at Condado's tonight. I'm going to Condado's right now. We out.
Bye.